Okay, hi, I'm Kathianne Lewis, and you are who you are, and you are at the Center for Spiritual Living, and I just want to greet all of you and say just a few things. First of all, you'll notice up there our vision. Our vision is that we're a spiritual community of thriving individuals committed to making the world a better place. So if you would like to thrive, and thrive is by your own definition, but in so thriving, you also contribute to all of the world doing better, this might be your place. Now, how do we do that? We do that by teaching people spiritual principles to live by. And what I've noticed is that particular spiritual principles have shown up through the millennia and also from continent to continent to continent to continent. And that's what I like to teach from and teach about, because I believe there's a conspiracy going on. And the conspiracy is for our benefit. And it's almost like the universe is always downloading to whoever will listen principles that allow human beings to have a better life. And then we call those people saints and sages, prophets, wise people. But if you take away the trappings of their culture, they are saying the same thing. So that's what we teach, because it seems like it's fairly well proven. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that, but I want to show you the next slide. If this appeals to you, if you think that you could be in agreement with our vision and our mission, then there's a connection card that is in the seat backs of a lot of the seats we have, except if you're in the front row. And it looks like this. Some of the seats don't have seat backs in front of them, so those we make these connection cards available in the offering basket as it goes by later. Fill this out and return it to anyone with a name tag, or take it to the welcome table, and you'll be on our virtual community list, so that we can not only send you a spiritual practice to play around with through the week, but we'll also let you know about all of the programs that we have that are available to everyone all the time. So I want to let you know about that. Then the last thing that I'd like to do is, if we're going to talk about games and how to play them. So if you're on Facebook, you can sign in and say, you know, I'm learning how to play the game of life, because by the time we're done, hopefully you will have at least a few smooth moves for this game of life. I'm here to help you have a smooth move. But anyway, that could be done better. Sorry. I usually try stuff out first service and then edit it later. But the last thing that I want to do is I want to celebrate. And so I guess since, and Beverly's at the piano, because usually Joel plays Happy Birthday. So I'll give you an idea of what we're going to do. We're going to say Happy Birthday and give a gift to anyone who's having a birthday around this time. So wave your hand or stand up like Peter Hanna. Oh, look at these birthday people. My goodness, look at this. Happy birthday. Wow, what a lot of birthdays. This is great. The birthday row. Oh, I love this. Oh, wonderful. Well, I have a microphone in my hand because a few weeks ago I decided that, yes, it's auspicious that you were born. And it's great to honor your birthday. But there's other stuff. There's good stuff going on. So if you'd like to share another great thing we can celebrate and say, yay, hooray, what good things are happening in your life? And I've got a microphone. Anyone? No one? Oh, of course, on the other side. I've got you before, thanks. Well, we won't do that one again. Here you go.
My parents celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary this week.
Wow, how fabulous. Good. Thank you. Any other anniversaries? 60 in a row. You're so funny. Any other good news? Al? No? Oh, come on. Oh, good. Let's hear good news. I'd like good news.
I had a job interview for the associate dean's position at community college, and I hope I'll get it.
Well, I hope you do too, yes.
I got $1 million listing on Camino Island.
Whoa. Anyone else? Oh, now we're getting into this. I love it.
Well, I'm excited because on June 1st, my sweetie Douglas and I will celebrate 34 years. And the other part about that is I'm 68, so that means I've known him half of my life. Yay!
It's a good thing. Now, stand up. Let's just say, if this is 68, this is good news. Who?
I just saved 15% by switching to Geico. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just glad to be clean and sober today.
Woo! Woo! Oh, now we're into it. Oh, yeah. Hi there. How are you? Good to have you join us.
I am closing on a house on the 29th, and I owe this to this church and making the commitment to Beyond Limits.
Speaking of Beyond Limits, my good thing is that I have an amazing group that I'm co-teaching in Beyond Limits with as a small group leader. They're amazing.
I bet they are. Oh, no, I'm going to have to draw this to a close. Go ahead.
Okay, my Sangha, first of all, everybody in my Sangha is the same age. We were all born in 1960, and we had a party on Friday night to celebrate 5 people turning 55.
Whoa.
And we're in a Sangha. Woo!
Young'uns.
I tried out for my friend's soccer team and I made it.
I'm going forward. Your daughter graduated.
And she got a job.
And good thing to celebrate. Okay, great. Last thing, I have a celebration. I usually don't wear jeans to church. In fact, I never have. Oh, wow. Never, oh no. 35 years, no jeans. Yes, I know. The reason is I've been horseback riding a lot, and I've been at a clinic all weekend, and I'm going to go back as soon as I get done with my talk to finish up the thing. So my good news is I'm studying with this semi-famous clinician and a bunch of other trainers, and really people have been riding forever, and I got most improved yesterday. I just took it as a good thing. So let's take a deep breath. Isn't life good? We have celebrated so much. We celebrate our children, we celebrate our parents, we celebrate our lives, we celebrate our milestones, we celebrate good. And if the word God means good, to celebrate good means to celebrate God. That's what I believe. I'm celebrating the good, the God in people's lives. So let's court that presence now by simply becoming still and court the presence of God. So we'll spend just a few moments in silence, followed by music, and followed by a prayer by Reverend Deborah Kay.
And so continuing this beautiful prayer begun in song, let's take a breath in together and release. For the breath is a metaphor for the cycle of life, for the giving and receiving, the cycle of in and out. And so that breath takes us inward into that inner place of the divine, our own inner spark. And if there is ever a moment when you feel unconnected from that inner spark. Simply take your attention again to the breath, breathing in and out. Reminding yourself of your own divinity, of your own goodness, of your full and complete potential. And so we know together that we each are this wondrous, endless, creative being. And that we may choose to make a choice that lives our life all out, that lives our life in the purpose for which we have come suited up to live the life that lives through us. And so we know together today that each word, each song, each prayer holds within it that word, that message, that insight that is yours to get today, that opens the next door to the next step, to the next choice, to the next good you are bringing into your life. And so it is in such deep joy that I join you in this prayer, and I affirm it with you when we say together, and so it is.
Because we're going to talk about games and the game of life, and how, because the theme this month is the game of life and how to play it. And today's talk title is Everything I Learned by Playing Mexican Train. I knew I'd get some fans from that. Well, stick with me. But in the meantime, before I start that, I want to welcome back our power talker. We have a power talker today. I love these. I learned so much from it. And it's Amy Wojcik. Wojtke, right? Did I do it right? Yes, good. Wojtke, yes, woohoo!
Hey, how are you guys today? Are you on fire? Woo! All right, so today's talk is about being of service. Now, I don't know if you might have noticed, but I love being of service. This is an activity that lights my heart because I know when I'm being of service that I'm making a difference in the quality of someone's life. Now, it might be a person, it might be an animal, mineral vegetable, no, or an organization. But I know at the end of the day that I'm making a difference, and that is why I'm here in this life. But what I didn't see was going to happen by being of service to others is that I was actually going to end up being of service to myself and making a difference in the quality of my own life. Let me take a breath here. When I jumped on board with the projects and I jumped onto the holiday family project, I was really suffering from a decreased level of self-esteem because I'd always been very detail-oriented in my career and stuff like that, and always had a great attention to detail. And that had really diminished, and so that was really affecting me. And what I realized in being on with the projects is that it actually wasn't my attention to detail that had dwindled or that I had lost, but it was I had lost interest in what I was doing, and that when I'm interested and engaged in what I'm doing and excited about it, my attention to detail is on par, on fire. Ow! So that was great for restoring my self-confidence, a level of self-confidence. The other thing that happened was I was invited to be on the board for Create a Better World, and thank you. This is an amazing team, and I knew that leadership is mine to do, and that was where I was going in my career. So I was like, of course I'm going to do that. But what happened in the midst of doing that is that opportunities started to fall into place, and not just one, but like choices, many. And I don't know about some of you guys that have been in religious science for a long time or whatever, but I've been here for quite some time, and I'm still kind of amazed when something shows up that's like really important to you, like really, really big, and you're like, what? For me? Really? Wow! You know, it's like so exciting. And so now I'm on board with this really amazing personal development and leadership team that's right in alignment. They're spiritually oriented. It's like totally perfect. And that's all because I committed one day to being of service. So I'm no longer tired, well, not no longer, I'm less and less tired from being depressed because I'm overwhelmed with things that I don't like and aren't interested in. And I'm more tired now because I have so many great opportunities and I'm having so much fun. So I'm tired from like fun instead of depression now. Just a better kind of tired, right? So the moral of the story is that you just really never know. In being of service to yourself or to others, to another, you might actually end up being of service to yourself.
Life is good. Life is good. Well, the talk title, as I said before, is Everything That I Know I Learned from Playing Mexican Train, which seemed like a great talk title because it went with our theme, which is the game of life and how to play it. And last night I was reminded of a verse that comes out of the Gospel according to Thomas. It's one of those wonderful Gospels that wasn't canonized, and so it has sort of the same thing but totally different. Same but different. The same thing is this apostle, his disciples were once again asking him, so how do we enter the kingdom of heaven? That's the same part. The different part is he said, oh, don't lie and don't do what you hate. So I can't lie. I don't even like Mexican Train. But so many of the people in this church do. I had to give it a little, I had to say something. And it got Peter Hanna here, and so, no, I'm just kidding. There are so many people that love Mexican Train, and I'm grateful. They have a great time. I tried it a few times. I noticed that I've become my worst self. For some reason, I sit around a round table with a bunch of people with dominoes, and I lose my inside voice. And you think you've heard my outside voice, you haven't even heard my outside voice. I know how to yell for a dog across 5 acres. I mean, I know. I can project. So I lose my inside voice. I become a person that is like dredging up from my 20s, and I use language that I learned from my logger husband, and I get animated and I give people the looks. I mean, all sorts of wild things. Yes?
What is Mexican Train?
Oh, praise God. I'm so glad somebody doesn't know. I love you, and I'm blessing you at this moment. And you will win at soccer, and any position you play, you will be a star. And I foresee your future as being bright and holy, and everything shall fall in line for you, and all things shall come together for your life. It's just the beginning. No, don't ever go down that hole. If you ever offered a game of Mexican Train, so no, my minister said no. It is so freaking addictive. It is wild. It's dominoes on steroids. And people form clubs and wear silly little hats and take them on and off. And they have supposedly sangas, Mexican Train sangas. Now, a sangha is a spiritual community. Sure, they're doing prayer and stuff around throwing dominoes at each other. It's just horrible. There's trouble in River City, brothers and sisters, and it starts with an M, and it's, so don't ever go there. Anyway, I have learned nothing from that game. Except to avoid it at all costs. I do, however, love the camaraderie. I do love being silly with people. Isn't it fun to just be silly? Oh, it is such an opportunity for silliness. But silliness is the first step down a long slope. Actually, we can learn a lot from games. We can learn a lot from anything. One of the reasons that I like trying new things and getting into areas that I don't know about is in the learning I learn about myself. Because sometimes you can be so wrapped up in your own life that you don't see yourself, but you get into something new and you see yourself differently. I learned a lot about myself yesterday when the trainer was telling me about how I ride my horse. And I went, oh my goodness, that's how I live my life. Because how we do anything is how we do everything. Oh, it really is. So I'll give you a little illustration with games, because I want to talk about the game of life, but it's all a game of life. And I also want to tell you that you can not play if you choose to. I don't want to play. I don't want to play. Well, you can sit it out for as long as you want, but eventually you're going to be playing the game of life because you're still breathing. And there's only one way to opt out totally. The rest of the time, you're playing the game of life. And I also want to let you know it's a rigged game. It's rigged. It was rigged from the beginning. And the rigging is that there is a conspiracy. The universe is in a conspiracy for your benefit, not in a conspiracy for you winning. It's a conspiracy for you to continually wake up to who you are and own your own majesty, choice, ability to create your own destiny. It's all a wake-up job. And you play the game, and eventually things can get so big for you that you're like, oh, I get it. It's like going to some sort of master class. Only your life is the master class. I'll give you an illustration. And this came from playing the other game that I do like, that the church used to like, until they went to Mexican Train. And this used to be played a lot at CBEC, our church camp. Adults would get done with dinner and run in and play card games. And the card game that I particularly liked was Hearts. And then we would play Hearts, gather at people's homes, and 4 of us would play Hearts. It was quite fun. I liked it. But I noticed that the things just got strange playing Hearts. In fact, one evening I was playing with Eric Desodell and 2 other men, and you may not know about Hearts, but a great way to lose is to have the Queen of Spades dumped on you with no backup. It's a way to lose. I'm not going to tell you the whole game, but it's a great way to lose. I got the Queen of Spades dumped on me every single hand. Every single hand. That is weird. It defies whatever that stuff is, statistics. But I'm laughing. I'm not caring. It's like I'm enjoying this. It's kind of funny. Actually, I was laughing. It's like, oh, here's the queen. It's like, I got her again. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I go to Mexico for the first time with my new husband. And we are at this beautiful resort by the ocean, right at the point of Cabo San Lucas at Solmar. And we're at this open bar with the breeze blowing in. And we were playing another game, and it's called Spite and Malice. It's a great game for 2 people. If you like, how do you spend, after other stuff with just the 2 people, how do you spend all your time? Well, playing cards or a game in the bar is a great way to do it. So we're playing games, and I am losing at Spite and Malice all the time. So much so that one lady leaves the bar, and she leans over. She's this sweet little lady, and she says to my husband, let her win just once. So I'm looking at all of this, and I'm kind of awake. We teach being awake. And I think, this is weird. I'm really losing. What's this about? I asked the question. I hadn't asked the question before. How many of you notice things, but then you don't ask? There's something always willing to instruct you. When you notice, that's a great step in this game. The next thing is to ask, what's the meaning? Why? Because if it happens over and over and over again, it is the universe saying, look at me, look at me, look at how you've been playing. And so I said, what's this about? I leave the table for a few moments and it dawned on me. Back to the logger husband. We didn't have much money, so we ate dinner and played cribbage all night. He had a kind of a temper. He also drank a lot. And so when we played cribbage, if I won, he would have a fit. He never hurt me, but we would have holes in the wall of our home. So I learned to not win at cribbage. Really dummied down. And so after that, I said, I'm going to play a different game. I'm safe. It's okay to win. Went back and won a really sweet game of spite and malice. Really sweet game. Played fair, too. I tell you this because it is a game. You can look at this as just something to get through. You can look at this as some sort of learning or test. But what if it's a game? And the game is set up for you to not win, but to grow, to mature, and to become. And then everything becomes a move in your direction in which you get all the other choices to move. So I want to share with you 4 rules to this game that I know of personally that work. And there's many, many more. There's a whole little book called The Game of Life and How to Play It, but I'm just taking 4 of the rules that I think work. The first one is just try to outgive. Try to outgive. You're not going to be able to outgive, but try it. One of the things I know is you can't outgive God. And recently, in fact, just yesterday, because I'd already had this planned, what I was going to talk about, I'd already had outgiving as a thing to say. It's like, if you want to know how to, when you're faced with a move, outgive. You don't know what to do? Outgive. With the intention to outgive. So I'd already had this planned, and then I ran across this article on the web, and it said that psychologists can now very accurately predict the couples that will last. Spend 15 to 20 minutes with them, and they will tell you the couples that will survive. Now, they interviewed couples that were either engaged or newly married, and they would watch them, and then over decades see how their marriage lasted. Guess what? The thing that would predict the couple surviving is that they were generous and kind to each other. They gave to each other. Now, it's not just gifts, and it's not like, call, hey, I love you, honey. It's give them attention, give them respect. So they would watch, and they'd ask one person, what are you interested in? And if the other part of the couple was really willing to turn to this person and engage with them what they were interested in, that was a giving. If they were like waiting for them to get done so they could talk about what they were interested in, it's not a giving. This is just cohabitation with some tax advantages. Giving is actually looking at them and participating. So I want to tell you why I think that I've lasted 15 years with my current husband. Now, he's number 5, so I don't have a great track record. But I was going to say I've been married a lot, just not to the same person, but I haven't even done that. Anyway, I finally got what it was about, and I found somebody who made a covenant with me before we married, that our task every day was try to outlove the other. Now, I'll tell you, when you try to outlove the other, that's a game. That's a game. So he cooks up ways to support me. I cook up ways to support him. What are you interested in? Let me support you. What am I interested in? He'll support me. So I will leave here as soon as I'm done with this talk, rush to Snohomish County, and he will be waiting outside the arena with my horse all saddled so that I can climb on and go in. But that's not unusual. It's not unusual for us to do this. It's not unusual when I had a clinic that I'd already scheduled and paid for, and he wanted to go hiking, for me to say, no, don't worry about it. I can drive the horse trailer. Because you want to go hiking. To see, this is, if you want life to work, outgive. And I'll get real woo-woo theoretical with you now. If we say there's only one, who are you really giving to? And if you're giving out, where can it come except back? How will it ever, I mean, it is just one divine circulation. It's the law of karma. That which you give out, you'll receive back. What goes around comes around. But another way to say it is outgive. If you want, look at some of the businesses. I think that in the next 10 to 20 years, we're going to notice that the businesses that really thrive are very invested in their community, and that they will have ethics of giving. Because we've seen, we're too aware, we're noticing too much. And businesses that are all about them, they will diminish because we'll take away our patronage. And we'll give our patronage to those that give. Eventually, see, this is a long-term game, brothers and sisters. We've just now woke up to realize that we can play the game consciously. So the universe is going to use us to consciously participate in the evolution of humankind. Another rule. Rule number 2. See the end and play towards it. See the end and play towards it. This happened in the Bible all the time. God said to Abraham and many of the other patriarchs, you will have as much as you can see. But they were on a hill. They couldn't see that much. No, you will have as much as you can see with your mind's eye. What are you seeing? See it, which is good. Now play towards it. Play towards it. Do things towards it. It's not enough to just see. In the story of Jacob, he was told that he could have, for his dowry, to take with him with his wives, he could have all of the spotted cattle that were born in the spring. And there were no spotted animals, so, you know, you breed a solid color to a solid color. Let me tell you, you're going to get a solid color, except for him. And he put spotted sticks all around the water holes. So when he saw animals, he also saw spots. See, he didn't just know that he had to see it, he had to reinforce it. Guess what was born that spring? A whole lot of spotted animals. Now, I know that that's probably possible because I bred my mare, who was solid, buckskin, with a bay, solid, and I had always wanted a pinto. Guess what I got? I'd always wanted one. This works. I mean, if I wanted one, I had to breed a horse. I mean, just saying. But you see it and you play towards it. One of the reasons I'm wearing jeans today is because a long time ago, I saw myself as being a really good rider. Now, I can sit on a horse and I kind of walk, trot, and canter. I can get them to turn. I want to be such an expert that I can have them move any foot at any time, any way they want, so that they're like helicopters. That's what I want to do. And I'm such a long ways from it. But I hold it. I watch videos of people being able to do it, and I take lessons. I'm playing towards it. Now, I may be the oldest, most shriveled up, tiny little rider. But I might be 110 when I become a champion reiner. But I'm still working towards it. And what's great is, even if I don't get there, my life's more interesting. So see it and play towards it. The next rule for playing this game is be the player you want to encounter in the game. Be the player you want to encounter in the game. Now, let me give you an example. And this is my example. I am an INFP. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a Myers-Briggs definition of personality. Google it. What that means is that I'm very intuitive. I make most of my decisions based on feelings. I'm an introvert, which is hard to believe, but I am. And I'm a P, which means I really don't like to be pinned down. I like to be spontaneous. I like to see what shows up. I like to just, ride the wave of life. Doesn't work when you're expected to run an organization. So a long time ago, I became the person that I wanted to meet in life. For instance, I don't like being on time. I don't like making commitments, but I want life to make a commitment to me. And I want life to be on time. I don't want to pray and wonder when it will happen. I want my prayers to show up on time. So guess what I do? I show up on time. And my husband says, "You're a P? Yes, I can't believe you're a P," because he knows all this stuff. "I can't believe you're a P. You're always on time." Yes, I made the decision to be what I wanted to meet. If you find that people are like, "Oh, well, maybe," and don't keep their commitments, ask yourself who you are. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And when I pray, I expect a result. Because the universe will be as committed to you as you are to your word. Ooh. So ask yourself, what have you said you'd do? And what was your follow through? And you'll see how much you can trust your prayers. Rule number 4, play big. Play really, really big. Big, 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 big. Which means whatever your problem is, get above it and beyond it. Jung said, Carl Jung, girl, Google it. I mean it, you guys should be just busy as heck around here. Carl Jung, who's that? Carl Jung said, the best way to solve a problem is to get a bigger one. And it's true, isn't it? If you get a bigger problem, this doesn't matter anymore, does it? Like, I don't have time for that. Well, you had time for it when it was your only problem. Oh, it's my only problem, so just take good care of it. But you get a bigger problem, it's like, that problem. It's true. We need something to get all excited about. That's a way of looking at it. So get big, get a bigger issue. Einstein said you cannot solve a problem at the level of the problem. So don't be at the level of the problem. Ask to know yourself as God knows you, or as the universe wants you to be. What is your potential? Just even contemplating that, you're not going to be continually working the problem. I will give you another example, because I think one of the best ways for people that are spiritually inclined to get big is to love big, to out-love them. Last week, I found out someone was upset with me. Like, what's new? I don't know what I do, but I upset people. It happens. But this particular person I'd spent a lot of time with. This particular person, we'd been close. And I sort of found out fourth hand that she was upset. Now, I know wasn't here, but I thought it was because of other circumstances. So when I found out all this, I called her up and I said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I heard that you were upset with me, and I knew you were doing something else, but I thought it was because you were so busy, and I know you're gone, but I really love you, and so please let me know what I did so I could make amends or explain myself." I reached out. No phone call. In fact, what I got was a text through one of those fourth people I did not want to talk to her. It was so fun. Anyway. But here's the deal. I got it. If you want to be prayed for a lot, hate me. Because I am loving that person. And it's not like I have come to the place, I'm not where I was a decade ago, which I would have felt this and wanted to like do my spiritual practice and use this as an opportunity to overcome. And I praise them and I raise them in the name of love. And I praise them and I raise them in the name of love until I got through it. I don't do that anymore. I really do love. It's like, oh my goodness, wow, I don't know what pain's going on, and I'm sorry I contributed to it. I am praying, and it's just love. There's a poem that says they drew a line and kept me out, but I had the wit to win. I drew a circle and took them in. Play big. Love them, love them, love them. Somebody wants to do something to you at work, love them, because love does things. I don't know what it'll do, and it's not like she will change. I don't know, but I know that those prayers will either hit her or slide off of her and hit somebody else. But our job, when confronted with people that don't think the way we do or like us, is to love them more. Get big. Just get big. That's what we're called to do. And I don't know, I'm sharing this because I know that I'm not the only one in this room who has someone who thinks they did something wrong. Am I? This was really scary. I was looking at faces and like, is this the emperor's clothes? I mean, whoa! So let's pray. Spirit wants us to grow, to become. And I say, Spirit, the universe, you can call it anything you want. You can call it the Tao. You can call it the Force. You can call it that which has no beginning or end, but it is definitely in a conspiracy for our benefit. And so we will continually have an opportunity to choose love, to choose mastery, to choose forgiveness, to choose new beginnings. We'll always have that opportunity. And the more we choose those things, the more we choose to outgive, the more we choose to see the end, the more we choose to be the person that we want to encounter in life, the more we choose to play big, to play like we could love anything, the more we will win at this game of life, and the more others will win. And the more we will discover that God has a secret game that few people move into and master, and it's the game of win-win. It's where we know that as we are blessed, we bless others, and as we bless others, we are blessed. It's like one of those wonderful video games where you move and you move and you move and you move up levels, and then you discover that you're playing with just very few people. And right now in this world, there are fewer people playing win-win. But in a decade, oh my goodness, the playing board will be full of people playing win-win. And what a glorious world it will be. And so it is.
And so isn't that a wonderful choir? Yay! And our amazing music director, Beverly, who is making it up as we go. And we send our love to Joel. Those of you that didn't know, Joel is not feeling well, and so we know that he is fully whole and energetic. And so I am, thank you. As you know now, Reverend Kathianne is on her way to her workshop. And so I'm going to tell you two things because she left me notes. Two things. If you feel that you are on the path to become a practitioner, and you've done some of those core classes, we want to send the word out now that Inward Journey, which is the first year of training for practitioner, and Prac 2, we would love you to register now for that, because that's going to tell us if we have enough people to do those classes. So even though you do have more time to register, if you know this is calling your name, please tell us, go to the registration desk, and you can do early registration, and that'll get the ball rolling. The second thing, we will not have a women's group this Sunday at 1 p.m. because Reverend Heather and a lovely group of women are at the women's retreat right now. So they're having a retreat there, and we'll just know good for all of us that we will not have the women's group here. And I'm going to call the ushers to come forward and join them on the floor. Now we're closer, aren't we? Very sweet. So let us join in prayer. And hold your financial offering to the center in your hand. Hold your hand to your heart. And let's, as a community, know how richly blessed we are. How abundant, how vital, how much we enjoy playing this game that is our life. And that we are in fellowship, in community with each other. As we see that good moving through each one of us. And we know that this community reflects that creativity and that vitality and that thriving. So that even more people, those people that say, I am spiritual but not religious, find their home here. Like we have found one. And so we know that this good ripples out from our hearts into the world. And great change and great love and great purpose moves through us and all. And so with this, in the deepest of joy, I ask you to join with me by saying, and so it is.